Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at two replays of me getting to 6.6k a while ago now, but I screen recorded the replays luckily enough. And as you will notice, I am nowhere near 6.6k because I did one of the most impressive tilts of all time. I got to 6.8k, I was all set to try and get to 7k, and I don't really know what happened, but we ended up at 6.1k. So it's kind of given up for the season, don't have enough time to do it. So we're just going to look at these replays and go from there. So I'll see you in the first replay. So in this first replay here, we're going to be going against a weird splash yard. It's pretty much just splash yard, except this random person on ladder has decided that they want fireball instead of poison. So we just start off as usual, cycling our cards. At this point, plays bar barrel, so that kind of lets us know that it might be graveyard, especially once he plays this ice wizard. So at this point, I'm going with an expo because I know that he's probably got graveyard, and if you go in, there's a chance that he doesn't have bar put and cycle yet, and you can get quite a bit of damage off, like we did here. So he just tornadoes there to take away a bit of damage. He also goes in with the bar barrel again. So you won't have that in cycle for the next time we go for an expo. So at this point we're up about 3 or 4 elixir and we're in a pretty good position. However, by the time we get back to an expo, he will be able to get a bar put down. If we had cycled really quickly, we could have got down a knight and then a graveyard, or not a graveyard, an expo before he was managed to get his bar put down, but we didn't end up doing that. So we've gone for Archer's same lane in the back because he used his fireball earlier, and it will mean he can't fireball the expo. So we've gone for a expo position here that bypasses the bar putt because he's placed it 2 tiles from his king tower. So as you see it, we lock on because he played the bar putt 1 tile too low, and he has to use an ice wizard there to finish that off, otherwise it would have got another couple hundred damage. So again, he's down on elixir, and we go in with a knight there to take care of the barbs that are coming out of the bar put. And what we're doing here is we're just keeping up the pressure, which is kind of when you're against graveyard matchups is how you win, because as soon as they start getting in a cycle of getting loads of graveyards down, it gets very difficult for you to defend and then attack, as every time they get a graveyard they get at least a couple hundred damage plus their poison. So it's really important to keep up the pressure. So we managed to get another lock here, which takes the tower down to about 1,200. So we're in a pretty good position, and we can start to think about going a little more defensive once we get into kind of spell cycle range. So here we're just gonna go in again. So we're not quite going defensive yet. We're just keeping up that pressure, going with those preemptive Teslas to catch his baby dragon. We're trying to catch the bar barrel every time, but we don't always manage. If you can catch it every time, it'll put you in a much better position, as the barbs do a surprising amount of damage. So we go in again, trying to bypass that bar pot. Probably wasn't the smartest play, because he had so many troops on the field already that there probably wasn't too much point. However, he continues to keep fireballing it. So we just go with our archers in the other lane, as that enables them to just clear out all the barbs. No problem. So we're still going in with our expos here, as we just really don't want him to start getting graveyards down. So I tried to fireball here because I thought I could clip that barb, and then perhaps that would get us a lock, but it didn't end up working out. However, the expo does lock onto the ice wizard, and we managed to catch that barb, so it only gets 1 hit. However, we go with the Tesla anyway, despite the expo being dead, as we wanted to kind of get ready for our next expo we just cycled back to. So here we catch that, and we go archers again in the opposite lane. So I just kind of let this expo go because it was on such low health anyway. And then from here, we just decide to go with a bit more of a defensive approach. We put a Tesla in the lane that he has got his bar pot. We know he's about to go in here, so I'm waiting for him to stack his troops up so I can fireball. So he's done that, so we go in for a fireball. That Tesla's still helping out. Got our archers there. probably a bit of an early log, and it does allow him to get a bit of damage, but luckily enough the baby dragon doesn't splash. And because he's just gone in with another barb hut below that, which won't target the expo, then we decide to pressure again. So we managed to take out his troops there, and we pretty much know he's going to go in because he has to, otherwise he loses. But he doesn't see the knight that comes down the side, and we manage to defend okay, and our knight takes the tower. So a bit of an interesting deck with the fireball variation, but it still worked out for us. So the last replay we have, which is the one that got me to 6.6k, is Barbarian Hut Graveyard again, so that's not very exciting. But this time they've actually used poison, not fireball like the last person. So when they go Barbarian Hut in the center, you need to use a defensive expo to take it out as quickly as possible. So I've done that, and it's locked on, so we get rid of that, and then the aim is to cycle back to another one, so we can outcycle his barb hut, and then potentially get some damage in single elixir, which is when we need to get quite a lot of damage. So we do that, recycling our cheap cards. He's got Ice Wizard in the back. We're going to go in with a knight, followed by an expo, and he goes knight behind the tower, and then baby dragon. So I tried to get a nice fireball off here, however I missed the barbarian from the barbarian barrel, throw out an oops, and he goes in here. So he does get a bit of damage, however it just allows us to kind of gain back that elixir lead, or for us to gain back the elixir lead from him. So now we're kind of even, we're a little, maybe one below, but he has to counter this. Or not, so he just gives us a free couple hundred damage, so we're actually in the damage lead. So he goes with a barb hut when we don't have expo and cycle, which is smart play by him. And so now we're back to it, and we go in this position like you saw in the last video, which bypasses. So he was a little bit slow, or didn't realize that it bypassed, and we managed to get a lock here. So he does the smart thing and poisons, and then goes with barb barrel. I missed the barbarian again. As you may have noticed, I'm not very good at getting the barb barrels. We use the knight here to take out the barbarians coming on, and we're just going to keep cycling back and keep that pressure up. So he goes in here. I managed to block the bridge just, so I used an ice spirit to stop it, and then a Tesla to take it out. So he couldn't really do anything, and the graveyard isn't too much of an issue. Because we have some health on that Tesla, we decide to go in again. So after the expo cleans up those barbarians, they target onto the knight. We try and take that out as quickly as possible so we can get rid of it all and potentially get a lock. He goes poison, which allows us to get a couple of hits. I go Tesla here because one, it helps assist my expo, and if he was to go in for a graveyard, it also blocks the bridge. So he was a bit slow, might have been lag, might have been something else, but he didn't get it down in time. So that ended up being quite a nice win to get us to 6.6k. So that is going to be all for this video. If you did enjoy these two Barbarian Hut Graveyard replays, then please leave a like and subscribe. And in the next video, we'll try and do something a bit different. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.